And what is up? It is White Trash Donnie with the Sloppy Syndicate show. Pleasure having you join us. We are streaming on Twitch and YouTube, as well as all the major streaming platforms. So we have none other than Planet Mercury. They are a pop punk pop rock band based out of Massachusetts. So if you like the sound of Newfound Glory, Green Day, and those kinds of bands, this is right up your alley. So I definitely got some Green Day vibes out of some of their songs. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Chris and Michaela from Planet Mercury. So how are we doing?
All right.
Great to be here, Mr. Donnie. Oh.
So it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
And based out of Massachusetts, as we said. And you guys just got off a 4-week tour, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks.
3 weeks, okay.
We did I'll say 14 shows maybe, just a rough estimate, but it was a really good time.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So we do have a live audience as well. So welcome, Ellie. Welcome, Vato. Folks, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to throw them in the chat, and we will get to those as well. So your newest release is It's an Odd Feeling at Odds. So tell us a little bit about that album. That is a 10-song, a full album, not an EP. So just off the top of the bat, Normal Now and Comatose are my top 2 songs off of that record. So record is well done. And I get so many vibes from that album itself. So I get Green Day vibes. I get like Newfound Glory, Blink 182. There's just so many old school kind of pop punk, pop rock kind of sounds within all those songs. So what's up, E-Rock? Thanks for joining us. Pleasure to have you. So yeah, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the band, what you do, Chris, what you do, Michaela, and take it from there.
Yeah. So I play guitar and do backing vocals, and Pat, who's not here, plays bass and does backing vocals and screaming stuff. And Chris.
And what's up? I'm Chris, and I sing leads and do some rhythm guitar here and there. And then I actually drummed on the record and sang, harmonies and backing vocals on that as well. And I think I have a couple guitar parts in there too. But yeah, we started working on that record, I think, in the fall and winter of 2019. And yeah, I had just kind of joined the group, and it was just a real fun opportunity to hit the ground running and start working on, I think Honest was one of the first ones that we wrote for that together in September of that year. And we just kind of started out as a jam based off of an idea that one of us had, and then just kept smacking it, and then just ironing out the other songs, bit by bit. And then we had the wonderful opportunity to work with Mike Dwyer at the Bunker Recordings in upstate New York in Cairo. And he just had a great spot where we could just really make everything come to life. It was really comfortable too, and just great to see it all happen.
Right. And so prior to the full release album, you've had 2 EPs. So 2019 and 2018. So you both had 2018, you had a 3-song EP, 2019, you had a 6-song EP, and then 2021, you had the full album. So I'm going to take a wild guess at some of your influences, based off of your sound. So I would say, Newfound Glory and, kind of the pop rock, pop punk. So tell the listeners and I some of your biggest influences in the music industry, and what kind of drew you into the music scene.
For me, I definitely listen to pop punk music, but I wouldn't even call it what inspires me to do music. It's kind of weird. I enjoy playing it, but I don't listen to it as much as I play it.
Okay.
The band that really made me be I gotta be in a band and play music was a band called Against Me. I saw them twice in 2 weeks many years ago, and I was I just couldn't get enough, and I just had to do it. And then I want to say not even 6 months later, I was at a Green Day show, and I didn't know this at the time, but I was actually standing right next to Pat, our bass player. We were in the exact same section in the pit. And then, like 2 weeks or so after that, we met up and realized we were at the same show, and the rest is history.
Oh,
So,
that's wild. That's wild.
yeah,
That's funny.
small world.
Right. And Chris?
Yeah. For me, you know, my first instrument was like drums, playing pots and pans on the floor when I was like 2. And I just like, I was around music a lot. My dad was in like a 50s and 60s classic rock cover band kind of a deal. So I think that's what kind of like really made me kind of feel it and get, you know, into that. And then I started listening to, I think I just moved and I was like 8 and I heard American Idiot for the first time. And I was like, dude, guitar kind of rips. So started getting into that and like a lot of pop punk, like Blink, Sum 41, a lot of Green Day and all that good stuff. And then sticking with that throughout, you know, like middle school, high school, and just like keeping up with that type of stuff. But yeah, Newfound Glory is great. I think All Downhill From Here was one of their great records from like the early 2000s that I'd heard in high school. And I was like, damn, this is neat. So yeah, it's just cool to have different, you know, like Michaela was saying, just kind of different inspirations for background, and then like how we all kind of come together and add what we've, you know, borrowed from that.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So I did go to a Green Day concert as well. This was many years ago in Orlando, and they put on one of the best stage shows, you know, stage presence wise that you can see. You know, and they typically bring up a young fan, you know, give them let them play the guitar, and then here you go. They leave with the guitar. So a pretty unique experience, especially if you're the young kid that gets selected to go up and play guitar on the stage with Green Day. So we got a pretty good question in the chat here. So this comes from Vato. How did you guys come up with the name Planet Mercury?
I was so mad when people ask this question because it's really like, it doesn't have a meaning or anything. Like I was just like, before the band started, I was putting music on Bandcamp and I just didn't want to put my own name on it. And for whatever reason, that was the first thing that came to mind. And then when we formed the band, we just kept it. And like, I think it's, while it doesn't have meaning, I think it's somehow still fitting. And like, we just never changed it. And I guess like, assuming everyone else is cool with it, like 5 years deep, no one's brought up an issue with it. So that's just,
and it's catchy too. So, you know, Planet Mercury. So you're like, you know, so kind of intriguing on that. So, and keep the questions coming, folks. We will be here for probably about 30, 40 minutes. I try to keep the show around there so we don't take too much of your time. And, you know, I know you're busy. As you said, you just got off the road. So I am thankful that you guys even came on the show and gave me the time to get to know the band and let the fans get to know the band a little bit better. So what was the hardest song on the newest album that you created?
Oh boy.
Putting you on the spot, I know. So.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like when we first started playing through Earthquake, I was like, this is going to be big and this is going to be fast. And maybe we can throw some time changes in there. So like, and I don't even think I realized until we got to the studio that I was accenting different parts than the guitars were, but it still worked together. And I was like, this is crazy cool. And then there's like some 7 in there too, which is just, but I don't know. That one probably was like, it was hard, but it was really exciting to write that one for sure.
I think for me, like, not that it was hard, but it like challenged me more was Lay Low, because it's a softer song. And I played a piano part for that one and like no guitar at all, which like, I think this is the first time I've written a full piano part for, like, I've done like little parts for other songs, but I think that was like a challenge in itself to like, because that was technically my first instrument. And then I like abandoned it for the guitar and now I've gone back to it. So it was definitely like a personal challenge to be like, all right, now like, you know, this instrument, like now write it, you know? Right. So it was pretty cool.
So just bringing it all back together from something you already knew, but you're like, you know, probably hesitant like I would be, you know, like, oh, you know. So, you know, get out of the jitters and make it happen. So
exactly.
And Burn. So I'm going to say there's not a bad song on any of the EPs or the album. Burn is probably my favorite out of any of the songs. And I like Burn is, folks, if you love Green Day, Burn is like straight Green Day vibes for me. Like it's like listening to Green Day, honestly. So, and I think that's what kind of intrigued me and got me in touch with you is probably Burn, because I was like, hmm, this is a good song. It's catchy, and there's great vocals, some riffs and different things like that within the song. So definitely great job on all the songs. But Burn has taken my number one spot. From all the songs that you have created so far. So with just coming off a tour, do you have any other plans, any other tours coming up, and any new music that you're working on currently?
So we hopefully would like to get in another like tour of some sort in the fall, like around like fest season. And with the new single we just released, Love Suicide, we also had recorded 3 other songs at that time. So those will be dispersed throughout the year,
Okay.
however they may. So there is more new music on the horizon, and then we're usually always like writing stuff too. So it never ends.
Yeah.
Right. It's a continuous process, and the Love Suicide is it's a good song as well. For me, it's a little more mellow. Um, I don't want to say like emo vibe, but it's a lot more mellow than some of the other songs throughout your work. So definitely a good song as well, but kind of a
Yeah.
lower, not lower, but you get what I'm saying. A little bit
Mhm.
softer and kind of a different aspect that we see, and the voice comes out a little more and stuff like that. So um, definitely a great song, and I'm glad you touched on that because that is your newest release, or the newest single
Yes.
that you have released, and I would have totally forgot about that unless you had mentioned it. So thank you for mentioning that. And another question in the chat: if you could go back to your beginning, would you change anything?
Probably not, honestly. Like, we haven't really had any horrific experiences. Like, obviously, some things go well, some things don't go so well. But like, it sounds corny, but you learn from every opportunity that either is successful or fails. So it's all brought us here to where we are now. So I think like we've I'm pretty grateful for just about everything that's happened in the past few years. So I don't think I
Okay.
would.
Yeah. Yeah, you live and you learn, man. It's just, and then like every time that we like tour or do stuff like that, or just talk with other bands too, and try things out for our first time and try it again and then see what works. It's just like it's all part of it. It's fun.
It's a never-ending adventure. So being a rock star, but all right. So great questions. And let me go through the chat, make sure I'm not missing any other questions at the moment. So I am not. And this is one I like to ask kind of every interview, um, past or present, any artist, any genre. If you could collab with or share the stage with, who would it be and why?
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Tough
You
question.
have
I know
tough
there's so many good
questions.
bands.
I'd say like, or my knee jerk response would be like, I don't, ugh, man. I guess like against me would again because they were the reason I like ever wanted to be in a band. But like, there's like so I could come up with a list of like 25 people, but I'll just say that for the sake of the time in this
Okay.
interview.
Yeah, that's just a toughie. Yeah, I mean, same kind of knee-jerk instinct would be like if I could sit down with Billy Joe, Mike Dirnt, Deadpool, just kind of see what happens, that would be great. Because holy cow, yeah, they've been around for me for a while. But like, yeah, I mean, even like relatively younger, newer artists, like, dude, Miley Cyrus put out a banger of an
Yeah.
album. I think it was like 2020. So that, I mean, and she's like what 30 something, but still, like, she would be so great to collab with, or like, yeah, just the
Right.
list
You
goes
get
on
the
and on.
wild, like, I think she would be a great time to hang around. Like, she's just like,
Oh,
she
yeah.
seems like the life of the party. Like, there wouldn't be a dull moment hanging with her. So,
Like
um,
rock and roll intellectual, like it's
right.
cool. It's
Yeah.
very
Um, and then Vato says, sounds like a positive growth to me, to the question that we recently answered, if you would change anything. So absolutely. You continue growing and continue expanding your knowledge and building your music base. So if I had to go back, or if I could go back, I have a couple. So on the countryside, probably, I'm going to go Garth Brooks because he's kind of the GOAT for me. Growing up on him,
Mm.
kind of hard rock metal, Pantera, and some of the newer age. I would probably go either Green Day or Killswitch Engage. So those would be my choices. Not that I'm playing any instruments or making any music, but if I could interview or just stand on the stage with them and wave, I mean, I'm fine with that too. But yeah, that's a loaded question because there's so many that we would want to obviously collab with, or even have 15 minutes to sit and kind of pick their brains. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, so hopefully, let's see, Rockville's coming up, and the lineup is obviously made for Rockville. So hopefully we can see. I know they're continually adding bands, so it'd be cool to see Planet Mercury make it to Louder Than Life. I know you're upstate Mass.
Yes.
So I know they have Louder Than Life up there in Incarnation in Ohio. So if you could play a huge festival like that, what would your feeling be getting on stage in front of hundreds, maybe say 150,000 people? Would you get kind of starstruck? Me, I would probably kind of freeze and then just take in the moment and then be like, oh, okay, wait, I got to play.
Yeah, that's like surreal. I like to think that I wouldn't be like nervous in front of like a big crowd, but for me, a big crowd would be like a couple hundred people, not like 150,000, you know? Like, I think I would just be having like an out of body experience the entire time because that's just like not even tangible in my mind, like right now. That's just, I don't know, out of this world.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
we're,
Getting up
we're
there, I
talking
mean,
Planet Mercury.
It's true.
crazy. Yeah, if you saw that many people, I would just be like, okay, well, clearly there's something going on that they're all doing. So I guess we can just like play, and this is
Yeah.
gonna be sick. But obviously they're just like, what the fuck? This is gonna be sick. Yeah, that would just be insane, but very fun to just. I mean, when you get on, you plug in, you shake it off after a little bit, and it's
Yeah.
just like
Right.
you're
Yeah.
playing music with your friends, and then you get the people going. It's like, whew, nothing better.
Yeah, definitely. I still would get the jitters. I mean, I have trouble talking in front of a couple hundred people. So, I mean, I'd probably freeze and look at the crowd very odd and I'd just kind of be stuck there for a little bit. So, and then next question. So, how do you feel the internet has impacted the music industry um, prior to, when we were younger? Or I don't know but when I was younger, you bought CDs, you bought cassettes, or things like that. So, what do you see pros and cons wise with the internet and Spotify and things like that?
For me, I feel bad. I'm just like answering every question.
Oh, my
But
bad.
I think like everything, it has its pros and cons. Um, we can get our music from here to Australia in 30 seconds. But also it's hard because everyone can do that. So in a way you're like not special. But obviously it's good to be able to have that ability to have the exposure. But again, it's like it's so easy for everyone to do it. How do you set yourself apart?
Okay, fair point. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I was thinking, as far as the reach, you have the vast reach around the world, but now, like you said, there's so many other bands that have formed or have come up that are doing the same thing. So I see what you're saying there. So, any input from you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, it's oversaturation for sure with being like ease of access to put anybody can put tunes out there. And it's like, it's great because I think we were playing actually a show in Gainesville and one of the other guys in the band was like on stage. He said this and it was perfect. He said that it's like streaming wise. And now it's great for young artists, but it sucks because there's so much good music out there. It's overwhelming. It's not that there's so much bad music. I mean, sure, there's whatever you qualifies, whatever. But there's just so much good music out there. It's just hard to know how to get through it all. So it's but you can have people from all over the world hear it when they want if they find you. So that's great. So yeah, I mean it's good and it's bad. And you gotta keep having stuff ready to go, and kind of short bursts of holding attention. It's tough, especially now with technology and social media. But yeah, instantaneous.
And this is kind of an off-the-wall question, but do you remember your first music teacher?
Yeah. Outside of school, like when I first started learning piano, I had a teacher, Mrs. Jurgensen, Mrs. J for short, because I was 5 and I could not say that for the life of me. But yeah, um, she taught me piano, and is I guess I kind of like owe her my music career, if you will, because like without that, I never would have like really understood that I really love music. So yeah, I still see her every now and then, but that was my first the reason I got into music, I guess.
Yeah, and
And
then for me, I would probably say like, I mean, my dad's taught me a lot of shit from such a young age too. So, and just without even kind of realizing it, I think. But I mean, he's a great pianist, and I think I tried to maybe learn a little bit, but mainly he kind of would teach me a couple things on drums. But like guitar teacher, Mrs. Clark in elementary school, and then I had another one like private guitar teacher named Wally. And dude, they're both great. Because I was just like thought I could just, oh yeah, we can play literally anything, but they would just be patient and work with me. But and they were good too. Like this guy Wally was just, oh, phenomenal. So going back and thinking back to all that stuff now that I'm really trying to, do stuff with this, and it's cool to appreciate all that learning, and teaching.
I had Mr. Pearson. I can never forget because I got kicked out of band class by Mr. Pearson, so I'll never forget Mr. Pearson.
Ouch.
So, so tell us one of the favorite venues you have played, or some wild stories from your tour. I know as a band you have to have some wild things that have happened. So
uh, yeah, I mean, we for the most part stay like pretty kosher, I guess. Um, we saw some sketchy things happening this past tour in Texas. Our
Oh my God.
motel was, we thought it was in a great neighborhood. It was not. There was some license plate swapping going on, and just
oh,
some people you probably don't want to make eye contact with. So
right,
that was interesting. Um, but we played, I don't know, I really liked a lot of the places we played. The Fox Lounge in Gainesville was like really, really nice. It's apparently a pretty new venue, but I would definitely go back there. I don't know, I can't even, my brain's like, can't remember all the places we went. But that's the one that's standing out in my mind right now.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it'd be a little sketch. You walk out and you're like, "What are you guys doing?" Oh, let me go back inside.
Don't
Oh
ask.
yeah. Good old motel season. Yeah, Kirby, Texas. Yeah, so gosh, I don't even, the first night was pretty great. It started and ended like in a bar in upstate New York, and it's like a pseudo towny college dive bar, but it's been around for a long time, and really cool music lovers go there. And they had like a little stage kind of a deal, and it was just really great time to have. That was like our first kind of big, we're kicking off tour, this is live music again, we're doing this is wonderful. And then afterwards somebody was like, this guy owns a record shop like right next door, and you should come listen to your records there. And I'm like, dude, it's 1 a.m. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, dude, no, the owner's at your show, like go check it out. I'm like, okay, what am I about to walk into right now? But yeah, I walked over, and sure enough, like this record shop was just open, and like they wanted to talk to us about tunes and our vinyls and stuff. And it was just like, wow, this is what a great night. And we also played at a funeral parlor one night, which
Oh
was pretty
yeah,
cool.
that was interesting.
Wookyards in Youngstown, Ohio. It was really cool. Yeah, we got the tour afterwards.
Any ghoulish stories, or past rock stars that joined you on stage?
Didn't feel
There's a
anybody
guy's
there.
remains that was still there in cremation form. I can't remember. Remember that
Oh
guy's name?
yeah,
There's
there was,
like one
yeah.
word, maybe his last name or something.
I can't. Yeah, they had a guy's ashes that I guess just were left there. Like,
And he had a picture of like
yeah.
this guy with a fish.
Yeah, see, I would like. It's not that I have a sixth sense, but like if and I may be making this up, but if I pass somewhere that is potentially haunted and I get, sometimes I'll get a chill.
Mhm.
So like me, that's telling me, okay, there's a spirit or there's something creepy there that no.
Mhm.
Because there's times that I can drive past a funeral home or a cemetery and I feel nothing, but there's every now and then I just get this little chill with a shiver. So that's my cue. Yeah, I'm not staying around. So, um, so as a band, what has been your most difficult moment?
Um, I think I don't know. I think for me, like starting off was definitely tough because you have all these ideas and all this motivation, but nobody knows who you are, obviously. So you kind of have to prove yourself without any track record to prove yourself. So you just kind of have to like sneak in where you can, and obviously, like you're not going to get the best venues and the best shows at that level, but you want to, you know. So like you just kind of dealing with the patience of like first starting out, which now like I'm definitely grateful that we have made all the connections we have and have come all this way, because we're definitely able to like pursue more of the opportunities that we want to. Like going on a 3-week tour was not even something imaginable 5 years ago, but I'm sure we could do it for like a month and a half if we wanted to, you know. So I think the initial like waiting and patience that it takes to like let the things happen.
Right. Let them form naturally versus
Yeah,
trying to force it. So
yeah.
I get what you're saying there.
Yeah.
All right. Anything from you, Chris, or along the
I'd
same
say,
lines?
yeah, that pretty much sums it up perfectly. It's just like you just keep kind of getting past the grit of it on each
Mhm.
bit of it, and keep your eyes on the prize. Keep
Uh,
grinding.
And, and I'm
Like
sure
having
there's
shows
times.
fall through on the road, or like trying
Yeah,
to plan things last minute. Like that stinks in the moment, but like you got to remind yourself that it's DIY, and the biggest thing is like, all right, tell like 15 years ago yourself the basis of what you're doing right now, and it's like, dude, playing in a rock and roll band.
yeah, yeah.
That's
You
we're
made it.
doing. Even if it's a tour, yeah, that's like however long, it doesn't matter. It's just we're doing this for real, and it's
Yeah.
Right.
there's hard parts, but
Yeah, I can imagine. And there's probably a lot of for me. There would be a lot of pressure to perform. And at some point, it would probably mentally get to me mentally if I'm not, because I'm very critical or hard on myself, and I don't know if you guys are either. But like, wow, I should be here right now, and it's just not. So um, there's so many aspects, especially in the music industry. You just have to be patient, take your time, let it work out, and it will all come together. Um, as seen in your last album. Not a bad song on that album,
Thank you.
and so just keep pushing. And folks, just joining us if you like Newfound Glory, Blink 182, um, who am I missing? Green Day. Um, this is the band for you, Planet Mercury, based out of Massachusetts. And where could we find you? On the apps, or where could we listen to you? Do you have IG, things like that, so the
Yeah.
fans could get in touch with you or listen to your music?
Yeah. We are on Instagram is Planet Mercury Band. Twitter, I think, is Planet Mercury Mass, MA. And then Facebook is just Planet Mercury. If you search that on Facebook, I
I
think
think Spotify and
that's, oh yeah,
Apple Music.
Spotify, Planet Mercury. Um, we have a cool little website that's linked on all those as well. So we are,
Merch, cool
yeah, there's
merch,
cool merch on there that's
Okay.
only available there.
exclusive merch for the new single too. So
Do
check
Yes,
it
you
out, check it
do
all
you
out.
have a vinyl? Because I'm a
we
vinyl
do.
collector.
We do have vinyl.
Okay,
Wow.
sweet. I'm gonna have to look that up and maybe put a special request in to get you guys to sign it so I can hang it on the wall behind me.
There's a box
Um,
right behind me,
as
so
you
you
as you
got it.
see, I like to collect different things from all over the spectrum and put on my studio wall. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've recently found myself getting big into the cassettes again, the vinyls,
Mhm.
and it's kind of the nostalgia factor for me.
Mhm.
I didn't listen to vinyls as a kid. I was a little bit older, so it was cassettes, and then the new thing was CDs. And I remember on the school bus with the little Walkman CD player
Yeah.
blaring different bands. So awesome. So we are at 30 minutes. I know you guys are extremely busy, just came off a tour. So I appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Of course.
Any final words for the fans and the audience that are listening live and that will be listening in the future?
I mean, thank you for listening to us talk, first of all. And if you have listened to our music, thank you for that. If you haven't, hopefully you like it. And we love to travel and be around. So chat with us, let us know where you are, and we would love to come play for you.
Awesome. And you can find them on IG, Planet Mercury Band, and as well as Spotify. I listen to them on Spotify, Apple Music. So give them a shout out, listen to their tunes. And they said in the chat, Vado says, best of luck for the future, guys.
Heck yeah.
And,
Thank you.
so that will do that for this episode of the Sloppy Syndicate. And I do not want to take any more of your time. So we are going to end the show. And much success to you. And I will definitely be in touch to get that vinyl. And we will speak again soon.
Thank you so much for having us.
Have a good night, everyone. All right.
Thank you.